Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool, and it is so fantastic to see you guys today. We have got a terrific episode for you. I just got back from Toronto, where I was at the Anime North Expo, and I had a terrific time. And the reason why this GameCube is on the desk here today, let's talk about that for a second, okay, Blake? You got that picture? Okay, cool. I met a guy named Patrick while I was at the event, and he runs a company called HDRGB, and he said he custom designs the GameCube so that they've got HDMI outputs, and you're able to actually plug this into modern systems. So he does some kind of soldering and some configuration in there, and it's also compatible with Japanese games and North American games. So I can't wait to give this a shot. I didn't have time today to give this a shot, but sometime this week we're going to be playing some GameCube games and seeing what the image is like coming right out of here with the HDMI output, which I am super psyched about. So thank you, Patrick, and everybody at HDRGB. That's a very cool gift. But this rundown that we're going to start with, you know, our guest today is Tommy Tellerico, and I want to get to it as soon as possible. But this rundown that we're going to start with today is dedicated to Stone Cold. He says it's his first ever comment, but he's been watching since the G4 days. Thank you so much. Let's get started with your rundown. It doesn't sound like we'll be getting a new VR headset with the PlayStation 5, at least not right away. Sony isn't planning to launch a next-gen version of their PS VR headset alongside the new PlayStation console. That's according to PlayStation's head of R&D, Dominic Mallinson, who tells CNET that although they are working on a new VR headset, there's no reason for it to coincide with the new system because it would bombard consumers with too many new things at once. Instead, they plan to have a next-gen PS VR out sometime after the PS5 lands. Mallinson also revealed that they're experimenting with new tech like eye tracking, mixed reality, and wireless connectivity, although it's still too early to say how much of that new tech will find its way into the new headset whenever it arrives. The next PlayStation console is expected to land next year. Now, I think that this is it's a good strategy. I think that they shouldn't, inundate the market with all kinds of new PlayStation-branded tech. And now they have to contend with the Oculus Quest. And I think that what the Quest has really done is they've, made it very accessible and consumer-friendly for people to play VR titles without having to connect any wires. So it would be a step backwards, I think, for PlayStation to say, well, you have to wire connect into the PlayStation 5 with this new VR device. And I think they're acutely aware of that. And I think what they're going to do is figure out some kind of wireless connectivity. And I don't know how much that's going to, impact the performance of the machine or, what the PSVR is going to be able to run at. Maybe because it will be tied to the console somehow it will perform a lot better than the Oculus Quest is able to. And maybe they'll be able to, get a bit of a lower cost on all of the on the device and the peripherals because it is connected wirelessly to the PlayStation 5. It's basically it's up to Sony now. They did a great job with the original PlayStation VR headset. I think what they've got to do now is show us that they can take the baton and take VR into kind of the next gen, just like they're going to be doing with the PlayStation 5. All right, the Sonic movie is doing something that should be very familiar to gamers. It's getting delayed. The controversial big screen adaptation of the beloved video game franchise has been pushed back in order to fix the Blue Hedgehog. When the first trailer debuted a few weeks ago, it was met with universal ridicule and derision for its weird-looking interpretation of Sonic. The character, prompting director Jeff Fowler to quickly announce that they would redesign the character and bring him closer in line with the way he looks in the games. It turns out that's going to take some extra time. The delay pushes the film back from its planned November release, so it will now hit theaters on Valentine's Day 2020, and that's not a shocking surprise. What was surprising was when they said that they were going to, do all kinds of retrofitting on the existing, assets that were being put together for the film and were put in the trailer in time for its November release date, because we all know that would be pretty much impossible because those effect shots are all, timed to the minute basically before they have to go and make digital prints of these movies and send them to all the theaters all over the place. So this is a good move on the studio's part. But it really puts them on the back foot now because they have to make everybody happy. They've basically shown their cards and said that we pissed off people, and now they have to kind of backpedal and show us something that we all like. And whatever they put out there, I don't think everybody's going to like it. So this will be interesting if they have to keep making further revisions. But my fingers are crossed that it looks much better. The success of Detective Pikachu and the Pokemon that were in that movie, I think, were probably going to be inspiring to the Sonic team and to the studios involved and to everybody involved. So hopefully they'll make something that's a little bit more cute and cuddly and accessible and lovable for all of us Sonic fans out there. Fingers crossed. But the rest of the movie didn't look that great to me either. It was just Sonic the Hedgehog. We'll see what happens. Now, it looks like the long in development Akira remake is finally moving forward with a very heroic director. The live-action Hollywood adaptation of the Japanese manga and anime tale, Akira, has inked a release date of May 21st, 2021, and it will be helmed by none other than Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi. He's just the latest in a long line of filmmakers attached to the project, as it's failed to get a green light over the past decade. But now that it actually has an official release date, it sounds like it's finally the real deal. Waititi says that he's a big fan of the original Akira, but it's obviously a lot more serious subject matter than his mostly comedic previous projects. Expect its first casting news soon. I can't think of a better director to kind of concoct an anime sort of comic book, manga kind of fairy tale like Akira, and bring it to the reality of the silver screen in a very, visually stunning way than Taika Waititi. But, he has kind of done a lot more comedic stuff in the past, and Akira gets a little weird. We all know it gets weird. There's tentacles and giant beasts and monsters and all kinds of crazy stuff in that project already. So hopefully they're able to pull that together and make us something really fantastic. The track record for turning anime properties into feature films has not been that great so far. So hopefully that is incredible. But he is an amazing filmmaker, so I'm super psyched to see what he's up to and what he's capable of. And we don't have much to wait. It's going to be out in 2021.